The first reaction was why? I mean, why were you doing that? So, and we still don't have those answers yet.
Walk me through what's been going on with you guys and the city council.
We have not had a chance to talk to council yet. We have not had. We just finished our Christmas rides literally 2 days ago, and so we have to move everything. All of our contracts expire literally January 1. So January 2, 3, and 4, we're trying to get all of our stuff back here, get everything off lots that it's supposed to be off of, get our mess cleaned up, and then once that's over with, that's when we, me and a couple other folks are trying to get an opportunity to speak with council and find out first of all, what the genesis of the topic was when the news story broke. I guess, was it 2 weeks ago now? I guess it was. We really hadn't had a minute to do anything, so we don't really know. But from what we've seen on Facebook and social media, it looks like, at some point in time, we're going to have to talk to the powers that be to see if we can't get our case heard for sure.
What is the controversy at this point?
That I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if there's a controversy. I'm unaware of it. Like we've operated. I've been in business in Dallas since '97, and I mean our safety record's impeccable. Any type of violation I've ever been issued has been a principle-driven issue over the years. I've had a couple that are just based on principle. I was willing to pay the ticket basically. And so we've not even had, we don't break the law. We don't have safety issues. We're not trying to take from somebody else to better ourselves. As a matter of fact, the way the city ordinance reads, the ability for us to expand is actually more difficult than other businesses. And we've just tried to adapt as we can based on the regulations that we have. So historically speaking, back when we first started, the West End was like the hub. It was the center for all nightlife, all entertainment, all extracurricular activity in Dallas was in the West End. And over the years, that has become more of a residential dinner district. When I first started, it wasn't uncommon for us to work until 3 o'clock in the morning in the West End, but now that's rolled up by 9, 10 o'clock. And so we've tried to expand to other areas, but permitting is very difficult because of the way you have to get routes and you have to submit all kinds of information to get this done. And so it's made it harder for us to keep that business alive. What we do down there is a lot of education, historical tourism. Tourism is a big deal. A lot of the conventions that come to town, they depend on us to show them around the city, teach them about the history. It's something that we don't carry as a big focus for tourism in Dallas anymore. Maybe I don't see it. I know that there used to be 8 or 10 of us that did try to do historical stuff in the city of Dallas, but we've also tried to diversify our business a little bit too, doing other things like weddings, ethnic weddings, and stuff like that. So we've expanded in those areas, but those really don't have anything to do with the permitting. Although if they ban carriages in Dallas, there are a few areas that you're basically targeting specifically. One of them is religious ceremonies. Like we do a lot of weddings, and we do a lot of funerals. And so if you're banning that, you're taking that away from the military. You're taking that away from folks that have that as part of their heritage. That's how they do funerals, And so, but I don't know that that's really what the people that we're speaking with council we're trying to get accomplished, or if they just want to do the horse carriage, the daily service. I really don't know what they're after. I really don't.
When you first heard that they were considering banning the carriages, what was going through your head?
First question I asked was why. There had to be a reason for it. I heard some of the comments from council that were just inaccurate, and that kind of shocked me. That shocked me actually the most. But I didn't see a point for why are you targeting us? Like what did we do to deserve that type of attention? And we still haven't had a chance to really get the answers to those questions because, like I said, we just finished like 2 days ago. Most of us haven't even slept a full night yet, so we're still trying to get our feet back under us after Christmas. But the first reaction was why? I mean, why were you doing that? So, and we still don't have those answers yet. So.
And then just in terms of the group that's kind of targeting you guys, and it's like, oh, well, animal rights is like one of the big things that they're pushing and they're saying this is about. What would you say about that?
I do know from the interview that I gave a while back to one of those groups, I even informed them that we had a list of regulations that we have to follow, that the city of Dallas has come up. I've said for years, because I do a lot of collaboration with folks in other cities across the country. It's something I started about 5 years ago. And I mean, I think Dallas has a pretty evolved, a very advanced system, or a system of regulation, or list of regulations that they have in place. And in my opinion, when they put that stuff in place in the 90s, when I first started, there were 18 carriage operators that operated all out of the West End. And the business evolved itself to where you kind of had that, because a lot of the folks at that time maybe weren't the best, I wouldn't say the best horsemen, but they weren't horsemen in general. They just liked the business. They liked the horses, they liked the carriages, they liked the people, they liked the nightlife. But maybe they didn't have the resources by which to do things like other folks in the industry did. So the city of Dallas, I thought very responsibly, came up with a list of regulations, and they came up with a whole bunch of laws that we have to abide by that really made it to where you didn't really have to be a great horse person or a horseman or woman to do this business. It made it pretty easy for just about everybody. And I thought that the way that they did that at that time, and our list of regulations is enormous. We use that in other areas to make other policy. Like when I went to work in Fort Worth, we used that template. There's some of those people that are in charge of transportation regulation in Fort Worth that came from Dallas when all that policy was written. And so the people that are targeting us, I don't know that they are aware that there's that big of a list of regulations that we have to follow. I mean, some of them are very basic, like a horse can't work more than 8 hours. Every 8-hour shift, the horse has to be off for 12. I mean, these are just real basic regulations that it seems like they're using to shed us in a bad light. But some of the things that they said in the news article not only were not true, but they had my website up there on the TV, and they were saying these people may be doing this, they may be doing that. We can't do that and operate. We can't do that. That's not how the regulations work. So, I mean, that definitely made it confusing. I will tell you that, made it confusing.
And you were telling me a little bit about the business in terms of, how you guys do stuff in-house and all that. Can you give me a little bit background on that?
So, the horses stay here. I live, north of Dallas a little bit. Pretty much the operation is based out of here. The horses go to town, they work, they come home. I have a herd, this is kind of what I went to school for. So this is something that's definitely up my alley. The feed regimen and all the stuff, the health, the care, the farrier work. This is all done here. One of the folks here, they drive for me, and the other one, he's coming here from Kansas to work Christmas or whatever. But otherwise, I do my own farrier work. They're rotated on pasture. I mean, I don't know what horse could ever want other than doing this. They're kept in shape. They have a managed feed diet. Their feet are kept up. I mean, we raise colts. I mean, it's just a typical horse operation, and they just go to town. They work. They come home. Everything's done in house. We do have a warehouse downtown where we stage. I know that the animal rights folks that were following us this summer were standing outside our warehouse just filming us like we were doing something wrong. And I have a large female staff. It made a lot of those folks really uncomfortable, because I don't really care, in this day and time, I don't really care who you are. No female likes to be filmed, just while they're doing mundane tasks like watering a horse or getting their stuff ready or pulling, just working in general. And so that did make us feel a little bit uncomfortable this summer when that was going on. But our warehouse is just where we keep carriages. It's just it's not even a real fancy place. It's just like a little warehouse. You put the carriages in there, we bring the horses in, we hook them up, we go work, and we go home. And it's pretty simple. What
are the major accusations that they're accusing you guys of?
The heat was a good one. I don't know that that was their biggest one, but I know that the heat was one of the ones they said in the news story. We have two different regulations in the city code that the city of Dallas has outlined for us. One, you can't work over the temperature of 99. And then another one is, and they use this in some competition disciplines where they use a heat index, and basically that heat index is the temperature plus humidity minus the wind speed. If that's under 150, they deem that safe for the horse. There's some problems with both, I think, and there hasn't been any new regulations. There hasn't been a review of regulations in a lot of years. The heat policy is something that I would even consider that might need to be revisited. I wouldn't argue with that at all. To be flat honest with you, when it gets to be 98, 99 degrees, I mean, a human doesn't want to be out there either, and so we're not. And so it's just it's one of those deals. Now, you know, when we get into the heat of the summertime, I think one of the things that they had focused on in the city council meeting, as I understand it, was there were some nights that we were close to that gradient, but the sun was going down and the temperature drops drastically after the sun goes down, and once it gets to be below 98 degrees, it drops, you know, on down to 90, and so we're completely legal when we do that. That's why I don't think that the heat regulation that we have in the city code is, I probably think that needs to be revisited for a couple reasons. Number one, if it's 99 degrees, nobody wants to be out there anyway. But legally speaking, we can be there because temperature plus humidity minus wind speed, if it's below 150, I mean, if it's 99 degrees with 20% humidity and a 10-mile-an-hour wind, we're totally legal to be out there. But I don't want to be out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think that might need to be revisited. I think it does. I don't have a solution for that yet. I wanted to do some research and see what some other cities do for that have had similar situations with folks trying to ban, you know, horse carriages or whatever, and what they did in response to it. But I haven't had a chance to do that research yet. I mean, like I said, we just got done working around the clock 2 days ago, so we don't really know yet.
Ultimately, you know, in the article you said this, but you just want to be able to work with them, work with the city.
I would be happy to see some amending to our policy. Absolutely, 100%. But that would come with an opportunity to speak too in response to what came out in December from the news story that came out, for sure.
Do you feel like the council may be a little uneducated when it comes to what you guys do and like the treatment of the animals?
I think that really anything agricultural nowadays, we get further and further and further away from that. I think that I think the further you get away from agriculture, the more complicated things get. And I think that anybody that doesn't, you're several degrees removed away from a farm, I think you don't know what goes on there. And I don't think that's an indictment on any individual. I don't think that's a derogatory statement or anything, but it's definitely hard to understand what folks in agricultural do if you don't have any contact to that at all.
Have you guys had any major incidents?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, over the years, I mean, for me to say that there's never been a scratched fender or a mirror touched or something like that, that would be ridiculous. But I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of shifts over the years that we've done. I mean, I had to do this research for an unrelated case about 20 years ago. And at that point in my career, we'd had over 12,000 shifts. I have log sheets for that many shifts, and we had not one single incident in 12,000 shifts. And so, I mean, safety doesn't seem to be a deal, really, that I can see.
So it's not like there was something that happened that prompted this with you guys or
not
with
with
the
us.
city of Dallas?
No. I think the last incident in Dallas was probably Texas OU weekend '96. I mean, gosh, that's a long time. And that's not just me. That's like industry-wide. I don't think there's been an incident that I'm aware of. I mean, I could be corrected on that, but I don't think there is. Not that rings a bell.
Yeah. Because one of the things they were citing is what happened in New York with the horses that overheated and then were hosed down.
I don't think you're comparing apples to apples. I know a little bit about the New York industry. I don't know enough to say a lot of profound statements about it, but I do know that in a lot of the industry in New York, a lot of those horses are kept downtown. They're kept in old barns that are they're a historical relic. I think that it's fascinating to me that's the way their business operates. I'm not here to say it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that based on the laws the way we have here in the city of Dallas, like our horses have to get a health certificate every 6 months. And so we have to actually go to a veterinarian and they have to look at the horse, put hands on the horse, they take temperature, they make sure our vaccinations are current, they do all this stuff to make sure that the horses, appear healthy. And we do that every 6 months. I don't know what the regulations are in New York. I don't know what their heat policy is in New York. I know it gets really humid up there. And humidity is really a bigger player when it comes to the health of the horse than temperature anyhow. So I can't speak for what they do in New York. I can just tell you the way that we do it here. It seems like it would be less likely for something like that to happen. And I'm not saying it can't, because much like us, we can go to the doctor tomorrow and the doctor can say we're fine, and then tomorrow we can fall out from an aneurysm. I mean, you just can't know what's going on internally. It's the same in an animal. These animals are athletes. I think you read news stories all the time about athletes having major medical events. Damar Hamlin, he died on TV, last year during the football game. And like that guy's, you would think he was probably pretty healthy. He was playing the NFL, right? And so, was it a freak accident? Yeah, it was probably a freak occurrence for Damar Hamlin. It probably was. Same thing could happen with a horse, because these horses are athletes just like NFL players are. But having the fact that we have to go to a vet every 6 months to get a health certificate does, I guess, say help with a horse that may be in poor health. A vet would not sign off on that being able to work in our industry if he doesn't think the horse is in decent health.
Ultimately, what do you want to happen next?
I'd like to work with council and maybe try to come to some common ground. I don't know that there was a problem that we have to come to a huge common ground, but I would definitely like to have the opportunity to respond to, I guess, I don't want to call it accusations, but it was the innuendo that, as my website is sitting there on the TV, and they're saying they may be working under extreme heat, or too small of horses, or whatever else they said. I don't really know exactly what they said, but it did not shed a great light on our business, especially as much care and as much experience and time and effort it goes in for us to literally prevent all of those concerns to the general public. It was a little offensive to me, and the fact that you don't even get a chance to respond to that accusation was a little irritating for sure.
Do you feel like you guys should be banned?
No, not at all. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not a nuisance. We actually serve the public there. We do fantastic work. I could give you thousands of reviews of new proposals, weddings, funerals, date nights, anniversaries. I could go on forever. All kinds of different ethnic weddings. We do Indian weddings. We do just typical weddings. Dallas is a great wedding city. There's a bunch of weddings that happen in Dallas, and we do a lot of them. So no, I don't see any reason why we should be banned at all, in any way, shape, form, or fashion.